I'm AMEEN TAKKI. I was the national champion, West Pakistan champion, Pakistan Open champion. Played for many years, but unfortunately due to my back, I've left golf for last 15 years or so. But occasionally I used to play, but not anymore. I had known Ghazala from 59 to 60. I was a regular member in the evening for swim. She was also used to swim and play golf at the golf course. Later on, when I picked up golf, we came to know each other. We used to compete with each other. There are few things which I like to highlight about her. She had a fighting spirit all the time. She would fight till the last moment, till the 18th hole, to win a match against men, boys and girls. And one thing I remembered was that in 1964 I was representing Pakistan, and she representing Pakistan to Sri Lanka, and she came on a private visit to participate in the Sri Lankan Amateur Championship. That is where she was highlighted and appreciated by all the members from India as well as Sri Lanka. She reached quarterfinal, but due to the uneven, different environment, rain, another thing, which made her lose the match, and she could not proceed to semi-final. But people realized her potential, and that is what it was, and that's what she was in Pakistan. All the time she was winning. Her closest competitor was YASMIN, Waheed. Both of them used to compete a lot with each other, and they were good friends. There was nothing bitterness like they have it nowadays. But anyway, other than that, I remember playing golf with her on many occasions. And another interesting part was that there was this Dunlop trophy where she represented against Gymkhana Club, representing Railway. That is a time when she realized that she has the potential to compete internationally. But due to circumstances, I think she was never sent abroad in the 60s, which I remember. In the Dunlop Trophy, she teed off, she was representing, and she played from the men's tee. And I think in the gross she was third or fourth, which was a great thing to remember that all the Pakistanis top golfers were there. And I think it was she unfortunately fell ill, and I was not there also, but she fell ill and missed her opportunities which she had. That's it.
Well, all along she was totally committed and very passionate about the game, and she had that extra style and the oomph, and she was a star, absolutely a star, a good golfer, scratch player, to look at like a model, and with a lot of enthusiasm, and she would won't be intimidated. She would even enter competitions from the men's tee, and didn't confine herself only to the women's 18 holes. And what else do I remember? Glamorous, absolutely. And what a fighter, through thick and thin. Absolutely. I mean, what all she's gone through. And her mother was like a rock behind her. Suddenly she was diagnosed with leukemia, and then she was one of the very few ones who came through and was in remission, and then was fine for a while. Then again it took over, and the second time it came over, she knew what chemo was all about, so she was very, very hesitant, and she didn't want to go into it all over again. And at that time Dr. Goldman had discovered something new which was tried on her as in an experimental way, and she went in for it and got well after that, got married. And what was impossible was they had told her that she would never conceive or have a child. But then she gave birth to a beautiful daughter, mashallah, who's a young lady now. So she has been a fighter all her life, absolutely.
wanted to share some happy memories that I had with my dear friend, then known as Ghazala Ansari, now of course Ghazala Ansari. I remember as like an 11-year-old coming down here and looking at her practice. I was just awed with her dedication, how she could practice from day and night and the same pitching or putting one day at a time, and if she didn't get it, she would keep on coming back and back and back again. I also remember all the happy memories we had when it was raining. That was her best time to come and play, and we could even play in the rain, talk to our caddies. We had some wonderful times together. I remember when she did not play well, how her mood changed and how she would next day be adamant on coming back and taking care of all the mistakes she had made and just keep on going till she had perfected it, and how we would celebrate when she had played well, and for days we would celebrate and be happy about it. I remember the times that we went to play the gold medal in Islamabad, and then I remember the times that she was victorious and how joyfully her parents celebrated her victories. They would have a huge celebration separate for the members, and then for the caddies they would have a huge party where they would cook foods, endless food supplies, and it was just like a golfing family where we had all our uncles together, the same people, playing with Yasmin, playing with Tanya, our parents, Uncle Rasulullah playing with my dad. So it was more like a very close-knit family, very happy days. But she was way ahead of her time. Her parents took her game so seriously that I don't see that kind of dedication happening these days.
There was a time when we were playing golf and there was this TAKKI memorial, and Ghazala played and myself, we were both playing with the gents, and Ghazala won that year from the men. She won the gross and won the tournament. The following year I played, we were playing together and I won the championship, beating the gents, and the gents were really furious with us ki these girls have come and won the tournament. So that is an incident I remember. And there are a lot of incidents now, I can't get them together. We played lots of golf, Ghazala and myself. I spoke to Ghazala the other day and she told me, Yasmin, it's because of you that I became so competitive. Because I used to see you and that I didn't want to lose to you. So I used to play and play, and you really, and sometimes she would win, sometimes I would win. We played a lot of golf. And then after that I got married and she continued playing. And I hear that after that she used to play with the gents of the gents team. And she was really good. If she hadn't got sick, ill, poor thing, she got very ill. And she had to leave God. She would have gone a long way and she would have played really well and made a name for Pakistan.
My name is Dr. Tariq Malik, and my background is urban planning. I'm a town planner by profession, but I have a passion for golf, playing golf for the last over 40 years, and played in a reasonable level, and later on started teaching golf in Canada and US, and my qualification in golf is I'm a master teaching professional and the top 50 teachers in Canada in the year 2020. Ghazala Ansari used to be a regular member here in Lahore Gymkhana Club and used to play all the time, and I happened to play with her a few times as well. She was a wonderful lady and an excellent player and very devoted towards golf, and she achieved a lot of like kind of targets or a lot of prizes, or she won a lot of championships. हम उसको हर वक्त देखते थे, मिलते थे, और she was very nice with the friends और सारे colleagues, और लेडीज़ के साथ भी खेलती थी और हमारे साथ भी मौका मिला था खेलने का. They were very competitive but very humble और down to earth, और ज़्यादा aggression नहीं, और बड़ी calm और composed, और बड़ा काम खेलती थी और अपना स्कोर बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन, प्रेशर भी बड़ा ले लेती थी, कोई उनको फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता टूर्नामेंट्स में ना. मैंने कुछ टूर्नामेंट्स देखे हैं जिसमें اور بڑا کمپٹیشن کلوز تھا، اس کے باوجود انہوں نے وہ جیتے ٹورنامنٹ، صرف اس وجہ سے کہ وہ پریشر گولف کا جو یہ ٹورنامنٹس کا پریشر ہوتا ہے اس کو وہ ایبزارب کر لیتی تھی، ان کو پریشر نہیں بادر کرتا. She used to practice all the time. I've seen her practicing because at that time there were no driving range here. ہم ادھر ہولس کے سائڈ پہ پرائیویٹ بالز اپنے لے کے اور کیڈی کو کھڑا کر دیتے تھے، اور وہ پریکٹس ڈیلی تو نہیں کہنا چاہیے، ہم میں اس کو دیکھتا تھا ایٹ لیسٹ 3 to 4 times a week ڈیفینیٹلی وہ پریکٹس وغیرہ کر سکتی تھی.
Ghazala Ansari, as far as women are concerned, she is a sports icon. Even for men, I think she is the one of the first golfers in Pakistan, and she started out on the Gymkhana golf course as a child. And I think her incentive came from the fact that her father was an ace golfer also, and he was very keen that she should play golf. اور بچپن سے ہی انہوں نے گولف میں انٹرسٹ بھی لیا اور کھیلتی بھی رہی، اور اس نے پھر اپنا ایسا ایسا مردوں سے مقابلہ کیا. ہینڈی کیپ بتا رہی تھی نا کہ 0 تک تھا اس کا، لیکن شی سیڈ یہ 0 لفظ اچھا نہیں ہوتا، آئی وانٹ کہ کم سے کم اس کے آگے 1 ہے، تو 1 ہینڈی کیپ اس نے اپنا رکھا ہوا تھا. اور پھر یہ زیادہ بہت بیمار ہو گئی اچانک، تو لنڈن چلی گئی علاج کے لیے. وہاں ان کا نام زینب رکھا گیا، تاکہ کچھ کہتے ہیں نا نام میں بھی کبھی کبھی کوئی ہوتی ہے بدشگونی، تو اب یہ زینب کہلاتی ہیں. اور وہاں پہ after she got cured, apparently she's absolutely cured now, and she got married and she has a daughter. تو بس اللہ تعالیٰ اس کو وہاں بھی صحت زندگی دے. یقیناً کھیلتی ہوں گی، اب تو بہت عرصے سے ان کے ساتھ کوئی رابطہ نہیں رہا. تھوڑی سی ان سے واقفیت ہے کہ میرا خیال ہے غالباً میری کنٹمپری تو نہیں، مجھ سے کچھ سال چھوٹی تھی، لیکن ان کا بھائی اصل جو ہے از میریڈ ٹو مائی نیس، تو اس وجہ سے انٹریکشن کچھ نہ کچھ ہوتی ہے. تو بڑی لائولی اور بڑی اسپرائٹلی سی تھیں اور بڑی حاضر جواب تھیں، اور یہ ساری کوالٹیز ہوتی ہیں تو انسان کسی چیز میں بھی کوشش کرے تو ایکسل کرتا. تو یہ یقیناً انہوں نے اس لیے اسپورٹس میں ایکسل کیا کہ اور لڑکیوں کو بھی یہ ایک انسینٹو ہو کہ وہ کھیلیں. اور عورتوں کے لیے یہ بہت ضروری ہے کہ کھیلوں میں حصہ لیں، کیونکہ اگر آپ تفریح میں حصہ نہیں لے سکتے تو آپ کا ذہن ویسے کشادہ نہیں ہوتا جب تک کہ آپ کوئی جسمانی بھی تفریح نہ ہو. میں تو سمجھتی ہوں بہت ضروری ہے، اس لیے کہ پھر جو یہاں لوگ ہیں، اب ہم لوگوں کو تو غزالہ کا پتہ ہے، لیکن آج کی بچیوں کو تو پتہ ہے ہی نہیں کہ غزالہ کون تھی اور کیسے جو گولف تھی اس کو انٹروڈیوس کیا لڑکیوں میں، اور کیسے ان لڑکیوں کو انسینٹو ہوا کہ وہ گولف کھیلے. اور اتنی اس نے دنیا بھر میں بہت ٹورنامنٹس جیتے، تو ان کا وہاں دنیا میں بھی جو نام بنا، اس کے بارے میں اگر پاکستانی لڑکیوں کو پتہ ہو تو ان کا بھی جی کرے کہ وہ اس طرح کی چیزوں میں اپنی شہرت حاصل کرے، زیادہ سے زیادہ محنت کرے. ڈاکٹر آسما کی جو کاوشیں ہیں ان کو خراج تحسین دینا چاہیے، اس لیے کہ جس وقت آپ اجاگر کرتے ہیں عورتوں کی صلاحیتوں کو، اور عورتوں کو بھی شوق ہوتا ہے کہ ہم بھی اپنا نام اسی طرح روشن کریں جس شعبے میں ہو. دیکھیے کوئی طب میں ہے، اب ڈاکٹرز اتنی ہماری مشہور ہو گئی ہیں، اور کل ہی بات ہوئی ہے کہ اتنی بڑی سائنٹسٹ نکلی ہے کینیڈ کالج کی لڑکیوں میں سے. اور اسی طرح یہ گولف میں بھی ہے. ٹینس میں ہماری تقی کی تھیں، اور اس کے بعد بھی بڑی مشہور میں تھیں. تو ان کے بارے میں ضرور ذکر ہونا چاہیے، ان کی تعریف ہونی چاہیے. اور جو آسما نے یہ اقدامات کیے ہیں سمجھتے ہیں، اور خاص طور پہ دیکھیں جب گورنمنٹ ہاؤس کی جیسی جگہ میں ہوتا ہے، اگلے دن اخباروں میں تشہیر ہوگی، سب لوگ پڑھیں گے، اس سے کچھ نہ کچھ لوگوں کو اور ہوگا یہ شوق کہ ہم بھی یہ کریں. غزالہ تو اب مجھے نہیں علم کہ کتنا پڑھتی ہے کھیلتی ہے، کیونکہ کافی اس کی بھی عمر ہو گئی ہوگی، لیکن جنہوں نے بھی ابتدا کی وہ اپنے اپنے شعبے میں پائنیئرز تھے. پائنیئرز کو ہمیشہ اپنے آپ کو سامنے رکھنا چاہیے تاکہ اور لوگ بھی جو ہے وہ اس سے حاصل کریں انسینٹو، اور کوشش کرتے رہیں. جو بھی معیار ہمارے لیے کسی خاتون نے کسی شعبے میں سیٹ کیا، آپ دیکھیں نا ہماری پہلی دفعہ سپریم کورٹ میں خاتون آئی ہیں عائشہ میں، اس کے ساتھ عورتوں کو کتنا حوصلہ. جب ہم 5 عورتیں پہلی دفعہ بنے تھے ہائی کورٹ کی ججز، اتنی لڑکیاں آئیں قانون کے شعبے میں. میں پڑھاتی تو وہ کم سے کم 30-40 سال سے لڑکیاں بہت کم آتی تھیں، وہ سمجھتی کہ ہمیں تو کوئی پوچھتا ہی نہیں. لیکن جب سے ہم لوگ آ گئے ہائی کورٹ میں تو ان کو تعلیم کہ ہم بھی آ سکتے ہیں. इसलिए जिन्होंने कुछ अचीव किया हो वो इस तरह जैसे गजाला है ज़ैनब, तो मैं तो ज़रूर कहूँगी कि आप सामने पब्लिक आई में रहें ताकि लोगों को ये एहसास होता रहे कि ये हमारे आइकॉन हैं, ये कुछ इन्होंने किया। अगर ये कर सकते हैं तो हम भी कर सकते हैं।
Well, when I first saw Ghazala, her swing was ordinary like anybody else, but with the passage of time, I think she had one of the finest swing in the ladies golf in Pakistan. The finishing part was she would swing all the way, finish, unlike other females. She was very flexible, very professional in that. And I think, I mean, you must give her credit. It was a fantastic swing she had. But that's what I say. I remember her winning twice national championship, and one was in Lahore, other one was I think in Pindi, if I'm not wrong. She won it, and in those days there were approximately 70 to 100 ladies participating. They were all foreigners. There were about 10 girls from all over Pakistan. Majority were from Lahore, like Yasmin, Tanya, Rana, I forget the name of these others. These were the three prominent girls. And she won by large margin. The first time she won was in Lahore, and she won it by a really large margin. Second one also, I think she won with a large margin. She was a good golfer, finished till the end. Excellent person off the golf course and on the golf course. In our days, the first time there was a competition between the men and the girls were in 1962, winters of 62 and 63. That was in honor of my mother who died in 1961, known as Mrs. Aziz TAKKI tournament. I was the leading golfer of Lahore, and she was the leading golfer, and all other men and women were taking part. She won it twice in a row, that tournament. That is Mrs. Aziz, beating all men and women over there. But also remember this thing, in those days the golf clubs were not what it is now, and the golf balls were not what it is now. In those days she was hitting up almost 230 to 450 yards, which is, with these kind of clubs, we could hit 300 plus yards. And she had a very, very good putting. And the ball, I mean, when you can't drive 250 yards was her drive most of the time, 235, 250 yards. Because of those old clubs, we did so well. Nowadays, when you say there are few girls who have got now one handicap, yes, basically why? Because of the club have improved, they have given extra 30-40 yards of length, balls have improved, golf courses have become easier to play with. But in her time, we had nothing but jungle. The Gymkhana golf club was nothing but jungle. When you are off the golf fairway, you are in a jungle. So you could lose raw balls over there or strokes over there. Please remember, her golf is very difficult from in those days than what it is now.
I'm extremely impressed by all the effort, the love and the hard work which has gone into compiling all this and to making it such a mega event. And Ghazala is on top of the moon because she was an icon, but the recognition has been given now, even if it is like given after so many years. But the fact remains that people with a lot of commitment and love for the game and love for her, and who recognize her talent, her panache, what she was, have all come together, and especially Dr. Asma, who's the pivot behind everything, of getting everybody together, and of so much hard work and so much planning has to be put into an effort like this. And then to culminate it at the governor's house with all the trophy and the recognition, it's absolutely a marvelous job, very well handled, beautifully handled. I'm on the premises right now and I'm sort of looking at the posters and the other things which have been put up it's magnificent. More than half a century. She was an ardent golf player, very dedicated, talented, with a lot of oomph, and I think her father introduced her to the game, and then it was like, Ghazala and golf, synonymous. And she made a name for herself. She had that extra, style, oomph, and but she was a star, absolutely. A model, a good golfer, and beautiful, of course. Well, very much so, because she also started playing in competitions with the men.
Yeah.
So it wasn't only, from the ladies' tee or from the ladies' 9 holes or whatever. Ghazala got recognized, and she's very happy in this. She's really basking in all this, because even if the recognition was given after so long, but these are committed people who know her worth. She was an icon, and everything has been put together beautifully, and she's so happy about it and feels so honored.
At that time it was very ceremonial, it was like a lot of excitement, and everybody, all family members would get together to just receive you. At the end of the day, people would walk with you. She created a lot of excitement because her game was like nobody else could follow her to that extent, because she would have a huge winning margin. And then of course her game was dramatic at times. When she dropped her margin, then it was kind of an exciting game to follow, and we used to have a lot of professionals that would follow her game. A lot of uncles would follow her game. So she was in her time an icon, somebody very unusual in all respects and ways. Her demeanor, her figure, the way she carried herself, her clothes, very stylish, very accomplished, and a phenomenal golfer. I have not seen anybody with that kind of unique swing. She had a swing that would work like a clock. It would wind and unwind in a way that I have captured it in my memory, and I don't know how to share it with you, but I wish she can swing like that one time like that, and I can see it happen. Practice उसका ये होता था कि जिस चीज को practice कर रही है, then she would keep at it. She would not go to another club till she has always been a perfectionist. She has an eye for things, और वो अपनी golf की game को भी imagine करती थी. I don't know if many girls can do it today, but she could imagine her like these days. People say you should have a plan on the golf course. She would have a plan on the golf course. She would imagine कि यहाँ पे मेरा बॉल जाएगा, यहाँ से किक करेगा तो वहाँ जाएगा, वहाँ से किक करेगा तो यहाँ पहुँच जाएगा. So that was the amazing part of her game. And also I've seen her drop it to the pin within like a foot and a half of the pin. Every time I would stop there, out of 18 I could see it happen maybe 16, 15 times on the pin. She would hit for the pin. And she was bold enough never to think that she had to aim anywhere else. Mm-hmm. She was a very bold player. She was a risky player, bold player. She was not very careful. Sometimes that's what set her apart and also was her downfall.
Ghazala was a very competitive golfer, and we used to play in serious golf. And like when we were playing, if I hit a shot onto the green, she would hit a ball closer to the pin, better than me. And if she hit onto the green, I would try and hit better than her. And 15 days before the tournament, we wouldn't talk to one another. We would be practicing in the same place, but won't be talking to one another. And very serious. And then we'd go out and play. And after the game and all, then we were fine. Ghazala Ansari is the former national champion of Pakistan, a very good player, and we played a lot of golf together. And she had a handicap of 1, and she was a very nice person and very smart, elegant, and beautiful person. I wish Ghazala was coming for this tournament. We would have really enjoyed it. But next year, inshallah, she will be coming. And I hope she has good health and remains well. And inshallah, we'll see her. The credit goes to Mrs. Shami for arranging this tournament for Ghazala. Mrs. Shami always gives us seniors lot of respect and love. It's so nice, and she's really helping the juniors come up. Thank you, Mrs. Shami.
अगर मैं कंपेयर करूँ पुराने प्लेयर्स और अभी के प्लेयर्स, मैंने नोट किया है कि जो बच्चे बच्चियाँ या यंगस्टर जो थोड़ा सा अचीव कर लेते हैं गोल्फ को लेवल, तो उसके बाद उनको बड़ी हो जाती है, बड़ा अपने आप को अग्रेसिव किस्म का उनका एटीट्यूड और हम्बल नहीं रहते हैं और गेम को एज ए गेम नहीं लाके उसको चैलेंज के तौर पे नहीं लेते, बल्कि वो एक दूसरे कम्पीट करते हुए और बैटिंग और ये और सिलसिला और प्रैक्टिस में ध्यान कम है और बाकी जो है इधर उधर की जो खराफात हैं उनकी तरफ मैंने नोट किया है, चंद लोगों को मैं नोट किया, उसको मैं करूँगा। कुछ लड़के तो बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं और अच्छा कामयाब भी हैं। गर्ल्स का मैंने देखा है कि बच्चियाँ, चंद एक बच्चियाँ देखी बड़ी मेहनत कर रही हैं और आगे भी बढ़ रही हैं, एंड आई फील कि उनको प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग की ज़रूरत है और उनको प्रॉपर का गाइडेंस मिले और वो कहाँ निकल जाती हैं, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान के बच्चियाँ किसी से कम नहीं हैं। अगर वो यहाँ पे अचीव करके सर्टन टारगेट वो बाहर भी कम्पीट करें तो आई बिलीव कि किया जा सकता है, कोई ऐसी बड़ी बात। मैसेज ये है कि मुझे रिसेंटली पता चला है कि शी इज़ नॉट वेल, तो आई बिलीव कि वी गॉट टू हेल्प हर वट एवर वे वी कुड, और उसके लिए मैं भी हर तरह से तैयार हूँ, किसी किस्म का मैं कुछ कर सकूँ। मैं जिसको कंपेयर करूँ ग़ज़ाला को, वो डिफरेंट इस लिहाज से थी, शी वॉज नॉट वेरी काम और कंपोज्ड, और प्रैक्टिस रूटीन उसकी जो थी उसको हेल्प करती थी और बहुत ज़्यादा, और ट्रेनिंग और उसके बाद प्रैक्टिस दोनों एट द सेम टाइम। और जब भी हम टेनिस से निकलते थे वो किसी न किसी होल पे प्रैक्टिस वगैरह का उसका लगे होते थे, कैडीज़ के साथ लग के वो प्रैक्टिस चिपिंग की, पटिंग की और आयरन शॉट्स और ड्राइवर्स और ये सारा लगी रहती थी रूटीन। आई बिलीव 3 से 4 दिन डेफिनेटली होता था, क्योंकि हम लोग देखते रहते थे उस वक्त। आई वॉज नॉट प्लेइंग गोल्फ, लेकिन आई हैड ए पैशन फॉर गोल्फ। शुरू मैंने लेट की, उसके बाद तो ये तब की बात है। लेकिन दोबारा जब वो उनकी एब्सेंस के बाद दोबारा वो यहाँ पे आई हैं, तो लेट 70s आई बिलीव और अर्ली 80s में, तो फिर दोबारा उनके साथ जब मैंने गोल्फ शुरू की हुई थी उनके साथ खेलने का मौका मिला और बड़ी डाउन टू अर्थ और कंपोज्ड और कोई एग्रेशन नहीं। गोल्फ पे जो होता है प्रेशर वगैरह लेना वो नहीं लेती थी, मैंने नोट किया। और लड़कों के साथ भी खेलती थी और लेडीज़ के साथ भी, और वो मतलब बड़ा कॉम्पिटिटिव उनकी नेचर थी और शी नेवर वांटेड टू लूज। ये मेरा उसका है कि मैंने
ओके ग़ज़ाला ज़ैनब, आपका हम सब लोग शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहते हैं और करते भी हैं कि आपकी वजह से पाकिस्तान में लड़कियों को इस बात का एहसास हो कि गोल्फ लड़कियां भी खेल सकती हैं। और आज भी मैं जानती हूँ कि आप ज़्यादा वक्त अब नहीं रहती हैं हिंदुस्तान में और आपकी सेहत की वजह भी है, लेकिन अगर पाकिस्तान आने का आपका मौका हो और आप बताएं तो फिर आपके यहाँ होते सेलिब्रेशन जैसे अब हो रही है गवर्नर हाउस में आपकी इंतमाम काफशों की, तो फिर भी हम सब ख़वातीन मिल के करें, क्योंकि जब कोई खातून कोई एक मंजिल जो है वो पा लेती है तो हर एक का दिल करता है कि उसी मंजिल को हम भी पाएं। और आपके सामने होने से और आपकी मौजूदगी से या आपके बारे में अखबारात में या टीवी पे कुछ शाया होने से बहुत इम्कान है कि और भी बहुत सी लड़कियां जो हैं वो इस शोबे में आएंगी और इंशाल्लाह कामयाब होंगी। आप देखिए KPK की जैसे सूबे में जहाँ ख़वातीन जो है वो ज़रा कम आगे आती हैं, वहाँ पे भी लड़कियों ने आपकी वजह से गोल्फ अपनाई हुई है। और कोयटे में भी यकीनन होगा, पंजाब में हम लोग थोड़ा सा हमें ज़्यादा मौका है, लेकिन अगर आप यहाँ हो तो कराची में और कोयटा में, पेशावर में और अजला में लड़कियों को ये शौक़ पैदा हो सकता है। और अजला में तो ज़्यादा गोल्फ कोर्स हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि शहरों में तो अब जगह ही नहीं रह गई थी कि गोल्फ कोर्स हो। लाहौर में तो हम बड़े खुशकिस्मत हैं, यहाँ तो 3-4 बहुत अच्छे गोल्फ कोर्स हैं। और जब आप आएँ और आप उन गोल्फ कोर्सेज को विज़िट करें तो मेरा ख्याल है वहाँ लोगों को और भी शौक होगा कि हम इसमें वुसअत दें। बहुत शुक्रिया आपका।
Majority of the ladies were foreigners, Swedish, Americans. They were here. There were approximately 10 to 15 girls who used to play. Out of them I had mentioned, she was number 1, number 2 was YASMIN, number 3 was Tania Rashid, and they were all very good. And the majority of the time in the competition, 50 to around 70 to 100 ladies participate every year in every tournament in Lahore. But as I said, majority were foreigners. She was very competitive. She never would give in. Never would give in. She would fight to the last hole to win, and that's why she won so many tournaments. It was her will. It was a urge to win and a desire to win. That's why she won. I mean, she was outstanding in that sense. Ghazala, I wish you all the happiness, and I do remember you were here. Look after yourself.
She took her disease as seriously as she took her golf game, because I saw her making notes on what she had to eat during the whole day. In like 15 minutes interval, I have to have liver, I have to have spinach, I have to have this food, I have to have that food. And then she's a very spiritual person. So at the same time, she had a regimen for all her prayers, which she to this day she has. इस वक्त तस्बीह है, इस वक्त तहज्जुद है, इस वक्त वजीफा है, इस वक्त नमाज है. That's become a part of her life since she fell sick. She has been battling that battle, and Allah Mia has given her the courage, but also Allah Mia has given her all the challenges to continue fighting that battle. And to this day, she's a warrior. She definitely is a warrior. She lives on the 3rd floor, and she still will not take the elevator. She'll climb all the way up, and then even if she has to do it 10 times a day, she'll keep on doing it. That's something that motivates you. Even if you're a part of her life, that's what motivates you. If you're part of her life, you will want to do the same thing. She inspires you. Her mother had a very special role to play in her life. She was part of her game. She was a very dedicated physician teaching at Fatma Jinnah Medical College. But in spite of that, where Ghazala was concerned, she would take her time off, she would be there for her practices, and for sure she used to be there for her matches. And then any kind of emotional thing that she had going on at that time, Auntie would be seriously a part of it, and she would always encourage her and do everything possible to make sure that for the next match she was ready. And it was an amazing family of golfers, and most of people in those days were a family of golfers, and those were unique times. We had a huge group of ladies, Swedish ladies from packages, who used to encourage us, and we used to have like monthly get-togethers with them. So it was like more of an international golfing scene at that time. A small group, but eventually a very meaningful group. If I think of her personality, I think it's very matched to golf, because she has the discipline to keep on practicing till she can perfect something, and she's not happy with her own achievements because she wants to go to the next level. She is not thinking within Pakistan. She was not thinking within Pakistan even way back then, and nobody was thinking outside Pakistan. She had ambitions. She wanted to go and play the British Open, which God never permitted her to do. She had interviewed with BBC, and that's the year she fell sick, and she couldn't continue. But if I think of her golf rate, it was never to stop playing in Pakistan. It was much more ambitious than that. I feel the difference is that these girls are so caught up in their rat race, they think it's all about them winning. It's not about going to the next level or increasing their game, where they are open to the whole wide world, which is out there to embrace them. They have the skills, definitely the skills, but they don't have the mindset, because they're happy if they're winning here, they're scoring amongst each other and competing amongst each other. The day they get it, that they have the talent and they can face the world, because at that time she visioned that she could face the world. If they can do it today, they'll definitely get big. That's my message. I don't think so. It was all about as if she was competing with herself to perfect her game, do a better job of scoring better. I don't think it was about winning so much as it was about the perfection she had imagined for herself in her game. My dear friend, my message is the only message I'm always going to keep on giving to you, that hope we can spend a lot of time together playing happy golf amongst friends. You can come to Pakistan and we can recapture those memories that we had on this golf course.
I mean, in those days, there used to be only a shack here in the golf course, or there was no proper clubhouse or a driving range, और इस तरह की कोई फैसिलिटीज़ नहीं थी. जो प्लेयर्स खेलना चाहते थे वो कैडीज़ को लेके अपने उन्होंने पर्सनल बॉल रखे हुए होते थे, और किसी न किसी होल के साथ वो हिटिंग के लिए प्रैक्टिस करते थे, चिपिंग के लिए प्रैक्टिस करना, और ड्राइव्स के लिए भी. और काफ़ी टफ होता था, इजी नहीं होता था, क्योंकि कोई इस तरह की फैसिलिटीज़ थी नहीं इन दोज डेज. अब तो बहुत ज़्यादा इम्प्रूव हो गया गोल्फ, और प्लस द फैक्ट अभी क्लब हाउस बन गया है, पार्किंग प्रॉपर हो गई है, ड्राइविंग रेंज बन गई है, और बहुत ज़्यादा फैसिलिटीज़ हो गई हैं. और उसके अलावा जो कोचेज़ हैं वो भी काफ़ी अब बन गए यहाँ पे, और कैडीज़ की तादाद बहुत बढ़ गई है, और बहुत ज़्यादा फैसिलिटी में फ़र्क है. मिडवे हाउस प्रॉपर बन गया है, और रेस्टोरेंट्स वगैरह सारे अवेलेबल हैं, और स्टार्टिंग टी पे भी एक डक शॉप टाइप की है चीज़, जो कि सारी हेल्प करती है. आई बिलीव,
ज़रा सा ऊंचा बोलिएगा.
तो मैं ये देखूं कि हमारी बच्चियों को भी चाहिए कि दे शुड लुक अप टू हर, द वे शी अचीव्ड ऑल दोज टारगेट्स, और जो भी अचीवमेंट्स उनकी हैं, हमारी बच्चियां भी आगे बढ़ें, उस लेवल तक जाएं या उससे भी आगे निकलें. और सेकेंडली आई वुड लाइक टू विश हर वेल, और हम चाहते हैं कि दोबारा यहाँ पे आएँ, हम उनको यहाँ ऑनर करें, फिर कभी मौका मिले फिर दोबारा उनके साथ खेलने का, फिर खेला जाए. ऑन टॉप ऑफ एवरीथिंग शी इज़ अवर नेशनल हीरो, और उस जैसी मिसालें हमारे पास नहीं कोई भी. मैं चाहता हूँ कि और भी लोग उनको देख के और उनकी अचीवमेंट्स को देख के वहाँ तक बच्चियाँ जो हैं वो भी पहुँचें.
थैंक यू.